When AI trains machines, who trains humanity? The complete human gym begins where technology reaches its limits. The information economy trained minds. The human economy must train the complete human being. The complete human gym is the coherent response to an age where every capability outsourced to AI becomes one we must intentionally strengthen. Artificial intelligence is not only transforming work, it is transforming the human being. Every capability we delegate becomes a capability we exercise less. The complete human gym emerges as the coherent response to this civilizational transition, deliberately strengthening the human assets no technology can create, outsource, or replace. The future belongs to those who continuously cultivate what remains uniquely human. The complete human gym, the first institution of the human economy. Every civilization creates the institutions required by the challenges of its time. Agricultural societies cultivated land. Industrial societies cultivated production. The information economy cultivated knowledge. The technology economy cultivated automation. Today we are entering something entirely new. For the first time in history, humanity is creating technologies capable of performing an increasing number of activities that once required human intelligence. Artificial intelligence can write. Robots can manufacture, algorithms can recommend, machines can calculate, analyze, and optimize. Every capability we successfully outsource becomes a capability we exercise less ourselves. This is the hidden transformation of our age. The question is no longer simply what artificial intelligence can do. The deeper question is, what must humanity continue developing because technology cannot develop it for us? Judgment, presence, wisdom, ethics, trust, empathy, creativity, systems thinking, leadership, meaning, the capacity to transform experience into value. These are human assets, and human assets become more valuable every time technology advances. This is why the gym of the future cannot be limited to the body. It must become a gym for the complete human being, a place where physical vitality, cognitive capacity, emotional intelligence, creativity, relationships, and purpose are exercised with the same intentionality that previous generations dedicated to physical fitness. Within the Quantumverse, we call this coherence. Coherence means responding appropriately to the age we are living in. If artificial intelligence changes what humanity practices every day, then coherence requires that we intentionally cultivate what machines cannot. The complete human gym is not a reaction against technology. It is the natural evolution of human development within the human economy. Because when technology has learned everything it can learn, humanity must continue learning what only humanity can become. The complete human gym, the first institution of the human economy. Every civilization creates institutions that respond to the greatest challenge of its age. Agricultural civilizations cultivated land because survival depended upon producing food. Industrial civilizations cultivated productivity because prosperity depended upon manufacturing. The information economy cultivated knowledge because information became the dominant source of value. The technology economy cultivated automation because machines increasingly became capable of performing human tasks. Now humanity is crossing another threshold. The next civilization will not be defined by what technology can accomplish. It will be defined by what humanity chooses to continue developing within itself. This is the beginning of the human economy. The human economy begins with a single observation. Every capability that humanity successfully delegates to technology becomes a capability that humanity exercises less frequently. Memory becomes cloud storage. Navigation becomes GPS. Writing becomes generative artificial intelligence. Decision-making becomes recommendation algorithms. Communication becomes digital platforms. Even creativity increasingly becomes prompting rather than creating. None of these technologies are inherently problematic. Each represents extraordinary human achievement. The challenge appears elsewhere. The challenge is understanding that biological systems develop through use. Muscles become stronger when exercised. The immune system develops through exposure. The nervous system adapts through repeated experience. The brain is no different. Capabilities that are repeatedly exercised become stronger. Capabilities that remain unused gradually weaken. The consequences rarely appear immediately. They accumulate slowly. Attention fragments. Memory weakens. Reflection becomes shorter. decision-making becomes increasingly dependent upon external systems. The ability to tolerate uncertainty declines. Human judgment is gradually replaced by technological optimization. This is one of the defining dynamics of the transition from the technology economy to the human economy. The question is no longer whether artificial intelligence will become more capable. It certainly will. The essential question is whether humanity will intentionally continue developing those capacities that artificial intelligence cannot replace. This question changes everything. Entrepreneurship changes, leadership changes, education changes, investment changes, innovation changes. The purpose of development itself changes. The industrial economy required disciplined workers. The information economy required educated professionals. The technology economy required digital literacy. The human economy requires human assets. Human assets are the uniquely human capacities whose value increases as artificial intelligence expands. Wisdom, judgment, ethical reasoning, presence, trust, creativity, systems thinking, purpose, emotional intelligence, the ability to integrate complexity into meaningful action. These capacities cannot simply be downloaded. They cannot be automated. They cannot be outsourced indefinitely without consequences. They require deliberate cultivation. This is where the complete human gym emerges. Not as another fitness program, not as another educational institution, not as another coaching methodology, but as one of the first institutions intentionally designed for the human economy. Previous generations exercised primarily the body. Today's generation must exercise the complete human being. The body remains essential. Movement regulates physiology. Physical activity supports cognitive performance. Hormonal balance influences motivation. Health remains foundational, but physical fitness alone no longer prepares humanity for the complexity of the age of artificial intelligence. The challenge has expanded. Our response must expand accordingly. The complete human gym integrates multiple dimensions of human development: physical vitality, cognitive performance, emotional resilience, relational intelligence, creativity, purpose, leadership, entrepreneurship, ethical discernment, collective intelligence. These are no longer optional qualities. They become strategic capabilities. The Quantumverse capitalist understands this transformation through one fundamental principle: the law of coherence. Every historical period presents humanity with a different challenge. Every challenge requires a coherent response. Coherence means aligning ourselves with reality instead of resisting it. Industrialization required industrial education. Digitalization required technological literacy. Artificial intelligence requires intentional human development. This is coherence expressed historically. The complete human gym, therefore, is not a response against technology. It is a response to technology. Technology continues doing what technology does best. Humanity becomes increasingly responsible for doing what only humanity can do. This changes how we think about value. The greatest value in the coming decades will not originate from capabilities that machines continually improve. It will originate from capabilities that machines continually reveal as uniquely human. The more artificial intelligence advances, the more valuable human assets become. The more automation expands, the more valuable coherence becomes. The more technology accelerates, the more important deliberate human practice becomes. This is why the complete human gym represents far more than a place to train. It represents a new civilizational institution, a place where people intentionally cultivate the capacities that define the human economy, where entrepreneurship becomes the practice of creating human assets, where leadership becomes the practice of cultivating coherence, where innovation begins with human development rather than technological development. The future will not belong simply to those who master artificial intelligence, nor to those who reject it. It will belong to those who understand the relationship between technology and humanity. Those who recognize that every capability delegated to technology creates an equal responsibility to cultivate what remains uniquely human. That responsibility cannot be outsourced. It can only be practiced. The complete human gym exists because humanity is entering a civilization where human assets become the greatest form of capital. The Quantumverse capitalist recognizes this before it becomes obvious. Because when artificial intelligence has learned everything it can learn, the only question that remains is, What has humanity continued to learn about being human? The answer to that question defines the future of every entrepreneur, every leader, every investor, every organization, and ultimately, every civilization. That future begins with coherence, and coherence begins by training the complete human being.